There? Ahí.
Yeah, flashing. I think
Okay.
good.
Okay, we got to Pisces. No. Someone doesn't want you. Someone doesn't want you to hear Pisces. Okay, so remember,
social change.
social change is the most important. No, the most important value is the group is better and bigger and more important than the parts. So for instance, my sister, she's a fourth house Saturn in Aquarius, the family unit, because it has the tinge of Cancer. That's the most important. So she would sacrifice, let's say, maybe her own self or her own beliefs maybe for the groups and the social justice. You can cross, it doesn't matter. Oh, not good. Okay, Pisces. Dun, 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 dun. Here, hand me him because he's gonna run out. I don't think anyone is gonna watch this video, so I don't really think that it matters. If we even manage to successfully do anything with it. Okay. The people in the lineage identified with unconscious tendencies, depression, abandonment, mental issues. They were clairvoyant, they were healers, they were artists, they were very sensitive. Yeah, they were also very much related to service, so we have the Virgo tendency there, and the health. And this is why in Virgo, don't expect to get paid. Because remember, this is like the social servant. So Virgo has a piece of that. So it's like, not that they're not going to get paid, but in the Virgo sort of mindset, unconsciously, you don't deserve to get paid what you're worth. And we know Pisces is worthless. So that's why I have mind your place. If you know your place, you know your price. Because your worth and your price are linked.
Yeah.
Because the exchange of energy in this world is currency, is money. Has nothing to do with anything else. These were also victims of abuse and people that had mental illness. So like my sister had mental illness. She was obviously living out something of Saturn in Pisces or something ancestrally. And my mother went to a medium when my sister was very little. And the medium said, she will not, be normal, but you will have another child that is like her, but normal. And that was me. And what did I tell you earlier, the 28 years? And my sister wasn't Downs, so she didn't have that Downs look, the Down syndrome look has a look. But she had a look that you could tell que tenía un trastornito de algo. But this woman told her that I would be like her, quote unquote, normal version. And if you saw my sister and I, we looked the same. Lo que ella tenía ese aire. But physically, we were similar. And personality, similar. My sister and I are the only talkative ones in our family. My older sister and my brother. My oldest sister is the one I'm talking about. She passed.
Right.
Her and me, so the oldest and the baby. My older sister now, the second, and my brother.
So she was the first.
She was the first. She was the oldest. And in Ayurveda, right, and in Ayurveda it states that one of the reasons that people might inherit mental illness is so that the family seeks a spiritual path. And if you think of the ancestry of religious persecution, there's something there. Maybe they would have never left whatever exodus they had to be in to go to this cult to then leave that. those are things that I don't know, I'm assuming. Un ejemplo. My aunt, my mom's sister, Virgo. Totally up in the temple. Everything's a temple, a temple. The other day she goes, you have to go to Israel and pray because you're going to get healed in Israel. And I said, no, I'm not going to Israel. All due respect. My mother, an example, they could have been maybe super Jews in the temple and never gotten out of that. I'm just thinking as an example. Instead, they went to the cult and they managed to get out of that. So maybe if it wasn't because of my sister, they maybe would have never made a cenebio. But my mother being a cult sign Sagittarius is still linked to her cultural and religious norms of Judaism, even though we weren't really traditionally super Jew. So you see how it starts weaving the story, and then you bring your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, and you start to see the ancestral story unfold. It's very fascinating. That's why a lot of times, do you know what transgeneracional is? The therapy of transgeneracional? Okay. So when you do it árbol genealógico, you do it based on birthdays and names and all the things you're repeating. This is very much in alignment with that. You start seeing. So Sophia and I we're on the same line as my dad. My sons are on the same line as my mom. We have Saturn in Gemini, and my dad is hustler, like #1, Virgo, old ruler, Gemini, or Mercury. Right. My mother's Taurus, the boys are Saturn in Taurus. Empieza a ver how it all unfolds. They're very patient and calm. They save their money. My dad and Sophia are like, whatever, but we're, you start to see it unfold. And that's just my kids and my mom and my dad. Add my nieces and my nephew and my uncles and my cousins and my sister and my brother. That's what's so interesting about this. Y ahí ya tú ves como the whole story unfold. It's really fascinating, this stuff. Okay. Values. #1, #2, #3. You must sacrifice yourself for others. You must increase your best. I mean, the other is more fucking important. That is what fucks us up. You must have a spiritual life. I'm in a major existential crisis right now. I obviously consider myself a metaphysician, and I still feel that I have some sort of spiritual semblance, but I am questioning and redefining. So for a Pisces, that's hard. You should not llamar la atención ni sobresalir. So how dare you have a website and have videos and a blog and crystals, y menos Leo. Leo, so no, your Saturn in Pisces cannot be outstanding. I get the award. Entonces I said, digi. Mm-hmm. So you must be modest, you must be humble.
Yep.
Just like that.
Coming from that shape. Oh my God.
Sophia and I were talking about that the other day. I always say to my students, I talk so loud because I wasn't heard as a child. Pero mija, ya ese cuento pasó. A mí todo el mundo me tiene que oír because I'm a teacher and I'm a mother and because I scream. But it's also partly this. If I don't yell, I will not be seen. I will never have any worth. Because inherent in the Hephaestus, who heard him on the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah.
So you have to scream to see if maybe that voice transcends. And you must agachar la cabeza. Humility, others, service, Mother Teresa, and I say, fuck that shit. Now, remember it's Saturn. These tenets, these values, somehow in the house that you have it, you must obey those rules. But, so you can't go the other extreme. But you can't make it una esclavitud. That's the issue. I cannot make marriage una esclavitud that I would have if I would have stayed with my first husband. My marriage to TJ was not. But what if TJ didn't leave? Or what if TJ said, oh, okay, you're willing to do anything that I want? That could have been una esclavitud. Can you imagine? So we have to see that we can go either extreme with these, the house or Saturn. So don't assume that the client is breaking the mandate or honoring it 100%. Ask. Because like I said, my sister's in function of the group. My sister's Scorpio. First house sun. Fácil no. I matter. First house sun, Scorpio. Pero hay ese mandato que the family. And my sister, even though she was younger than my older sister, they were only 1 year apart. And my mother sent the two of them to the same school. So somehow or another, my sister had to grow up fast, taking care of her sick sister. Ahí tenía que haber algo. So Susie, you're responsible for Alegre. There's a responsibility. And a first house son always has a responsibility to pave the way for others. Imahe Scorpio. So what did she do to honor her Scorpio and to honor her moon in Taurus and to honor her Saturn in Aquarius? She became a doctor. That's how we reconcile these mandates. Oftentimes with our work. Oftentimes our profession or our vocation is the only way that we can honor it. And so we're shoved, like me,